Hi, good evening, everyone. This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I am here live to take your U.S. immigration-related questions. So go ahead and put your questions in the comments now so that I may answer your questions. So I am here every day, and even though it's a holiday weekend, I still make the time to come on here because I really enjoy taking your U.S. immigration-related questions and basically closing out my day with you. So you can go ahead and put your questions in the comments, and I will go ahead and answer those questions as those questions come in. I am going to talk about a particular topic that you'll want to know about, and I get this very often, and it's, is there any way to get the green card without getting married? And yes, there are many ways to do that. And I'm going to talk about some of those ways very generally. So if you would like to explore more about those options, you can feel free to call and schedule a consultation at 561-405-4889 to schedule your consultation. But let's talk about that. So how can you get the green card without getting married? So there are a number of different ways. The first is through employment. The other way is through other family members. So not just your spouse, but other family members. And if you are in a pickle, if you're in a situation, a terrible situation, then you can get through humanitarian means as well. And then there's also the diversity lottery. So I'll explain those in turn. Let's talk about employment for a minute. So there are a number of employment-based green cards, all right? And it doesn't involve getting married, where you can take if you're already married, if you already have a family, you would be able to take your family along with you, your wife. Hi there. You'd be able to take your spouse or your kids along with you if you do get the green card. Now, with the employment-based green card, the main challenge here is to find the employer. But if an employer is willing to invest and spend the money to apply for your green card, then this could be a possibility. Now, the employment-based green cards range from highly skilled, very specific, to unskilled labor. So you could be working as a waiter, you could be working in the fields, you could be working in any kind of job that doesn't necessarily require a degree or require any special skills, and still get the green card through an employer. But the main thing with those types of green cards is the labor certification. That's the more complex aspect of this process, and it does take the longest. So with the labor certification, it's usually to make sure that your position that you're getting through the employer is not going to interfere with a U.S. person's wages or their ability to get that job. So it's not reducing opportunities for U.S. persons. And so that's why one had an employer who wants to apply for their employee to get the green card, even if they're even if it's through unskilled labor, even if it's as a professional, must still go through this labor certification process. Now, I want to stop for a minute to tell you that you should go ahead, put your questions in the comments while I'm here, because I'm here to answer your U.S. immigration related questions. So while I'm here, you can ask anything that's immigration related. It doesn't necessarily have to be related to the topic I'm talking about. Now, I am talking about applying for the green card without the need to get married. I get that question very often, and so I'm quickly going through some of the ways to do that. So I went through the employment base. Now, there are other types of employment base where you can apply for it on your own. So if you're applying for the extraordinary ability green card, then that could possibly be a way. So if you are at the top of your field, you're at the top of your career, you could possibly get this and apply on your own. Of course, you'd have to prove through specific evidence that you are indeed at the top of your field. Usually what that means when I say the top of your field, it means that you're renowned either internationally and or nationally. So if I have a fiance living in the US and they want to get me there, what's the best route to take? So if your fiance is a US citizen, they can apply for your fiance visa. Now, to qualify for the fiance visa, you'll have to make sure that you meet each other within the most recent 2 years, at least once in the most recent 2 years before filing the application. And in addition to that, now keep in mind that if you're unable to meet because of exceptional circumstances or because it's a part of your cultural norms to not see each other before you get married or while you're engaged, or before you get engaged, I should say, then that there could be a waiver on the requirement to see each other. Hi there, Kissy Martinez, it's nice to see you. So, so 2 requirements that you have to keep in mind are that you must make sure that you meet each other or that you meet an exception to that rule and meet each other within the most recent 2 years before applying, and that your fiance is a US citizen. Can someone whose visa is revoked get it back without reasons given by officers? So yes, that may be a possibility, but keep in mind that they usually have a reason, even if they don't state it. Now, that reason may vary from they suspect that you'll overstay if you come to the United States. If you are turned around at the border, then that could be a little more complicated. That's usually called expedited removal and comes with a 5-year bar from getting a visa or coming back to the United States. So you also have to deal with that aspect of it. But it may be a possibility. It just depends on the underlying reason. Now, if you didn't get a reason and you don't have any immigration charges, then you could possibly apply and see if there is a way to, if they would be willing to give it back. But the important thing is to find out the reason and see if you can get it corrected. So is there any other type of document that we can get them to travel to the US? So if there's no visa, if they're not coming on an immigrant visa, if they're not coming on a non-immigrant visa, there is what's called humanitarian parole. So in the case that they are unable to get a visa to come to the United States, but there are compelling or urgent reasons, Kissy, that they need to come, you could apply for humanitarian parole, and that could be a way for them to come to the United States. It's discretionary, and you have to really put together the evidence to show that it is warranted. So keep those questions coming. These are all great questions, and that's exactly why I'm here. I am here to answer your immigration questions. So put your questions in the comments. How long does a spouse visa process take? So it can, if you're going through a, Kissy Martinez, you're welcome. Now, if you are going through a US citizen, or right now even a green card holder, I would say 2 years to 18 months to 2 years. I've seen it as little as 9 months, 9 to 10 months. But keep in mind that is not very common. The average time you should be prepared for is 18 months. Great questions. Keep those questions coming. I am here on a Saturday spending time with you to take your questions. So take advantage of that right now and put your questions in the comments, because that's exactly what I'm here to do, is answer your questions. Ty King, you're welcome. So I have been covering from a very global level, so a very broad, not very specific level, all the ways that you could apply for the green card without getting married, because I do get those questions often. Now, while I do help people to fix their status in the United States, many times when you have to fix your status in the United States, as in you're out of status in the United States, it's going to involve either humanitarian type visa, or it's going to involve a family relationship, including the spousal relationship. So that is why you see me harp on it so much, is because one of the things I focus on is helping people who are out of status fix their status and go on to get the green card. And in most situations, to do that, you usually have to have, at a minimum, a U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident spouse or parent, or you have to show that you either get, you warrant asylum because you're afraid to return to your home country because of persecution, or you're the victim of crime or trafficking. So those are some of the ways to fix it. But most times when you're dealing with getting the need to leave the United States, fix your status, you're going to deal with a spousal or parental relationship. What documents are usually a must to have for the spouse visa? So I don't get into the specific documents here just because that is too broad of a question and I can't answer it, specifically without talking to you in a consultation. Reason being is because it can vary. The documents can vary just depending on who the spouse is, what's the status of the U.S. citizen. What I can tell you from a general basis is that the important thing is to show the relationship. So to make sure that you show that you have a bona fide marriage, a real marriage, and any document that shows that is going to be important. Also, it's important to prove your immigration status as a spouse who is sponsoring your spouse. So if you're a U.S. citizen or a legal permanent resident, it's going to be important to show that as well. How long does divorce take if no kids involved? So Nikki Z, that would be family immigration. I am an U.S. immigration lawyer, so I don't do family immigration. You'll need to refer to an attorney, a family immigration attorney in your state to be able to answer that question. So great questions. That's exactly why I'm here, to answer your questions. And I know, you're welcome, Nikki Z. I know if you are going through the immigration process, or better yet, you're thinking about going through the process, you have a nagging immigration question, go ahead, take advantage of me being here and put those questions in the comments now. You can, if you do join me early, you can even ask multiple questions if you want. I'm here to engage with you, to take your questions, to be present for you. So right now, I usually come with a topic to talk about in between your questions. Your questions are my priority. But when right now I'm talking about the topic from a very broad level, is how to apply for the green card without getting married, right? Because that's the one that I think a lot of people know about. You marry a U.S. citizen, you can get your green card. But there are different ways to get your green card. So what is considered emergency visa appointment as the Jamaican embassy is closed? So it depends. It really is a case-by-case basis, but usually it's going to be something that's health related, if it's related to a death in the family, things of that nature. So compelling reasons, then that could be considered urgent. Good evening. I tried to text you and you didn't reply. I was just asked a question. So Shelly, we don't accept text. You must, and I definitely don't give legal advice via text. You must schedule a consultation. And the way to do that is to call 561-405-4889. Now, if you don't have the ability to call, you can go to the website. Go to the link in my bio. It'll take you to the website where you can complete a contact form, and then we'll get back in touch with you. But as for text, you likely will not get legal advice. Even if we do respond, it's going to be call or complete a contact form. I have one more. If I'm an immigrant married to a citizen and filing for my minor daughter in Jamaica. So if you're an immigrant married to a U.S. citizen, Nikki Z, if your child, you said minor, so that's telling me your daughter is under 18, your spouse is a U.S. citizen, If you file for your spouse, files for your daughter. Now, you got married before your daughter turned 18. That means that your daughter qualifies as the immediate relative of your U.S. citizen spouse. And that means that they can take priority as the stepchild of a U.S. citizen. So your spouse can file for her. Right now, though, the process is moving at the same pace as it would for a U.S. citizen parent, just because there is no wait list for an immigrant visa number. And Nikki Z, that's if you're a green card holder now. I don't know if you are. If you're not a green card holder, but you want your daughter to join you now, your spouse can actually file for them as a step. And now that is assuming that everything else is in place and you qualify. To confirm you qualify, definitely schedule a consultation, because I am not giving legal advice. This is all general information. So schedule a consultation. We can talk more about that. But generally speaking, the stepchild of a U.S. citizen will qualify as an immediate relative and can be filed for as long as you got married to the U.S. citizen before the child turned 18. How long after doing your interview it takes for your passport to return back to you? So I'm not sure what so if you're the interview, so it takes about 2 to 3 weeks. Right now with the backlog, it depends on what embassy you're working through. It could take longer. But 2 to 3 weeks is the average time. Shelley Smith, you're welcome. It was done from January. So that is a long time, and it may just be because of the backlog right now. So hang tight. Make sure you check on the status. Make sure it's not anything like it got stuck in the mail, it got lost by the courier, or any such thing. Renewed my mom's green card. It took 5 days to come. Did my father? It's been over 2 weeks. Thoughts? Not necessarily. It's going to be different in every case. Trust me, 2 weeks is not necessarily a very long time compared to how long other people have to wait. So Ty King, I am in Boca Raton, Florida, but keep in mind, as a U.S. immigration attorney, I represent clients all over the United States and the world. So if you have an immigration issue, borders will not prevent me from representing you. My dad is a resident. Is there a way I can get residency? So yeah, your dad, Nati Bastias, your dad can file for you as a green card holder as long as you are not married, and if you're under 21 or over 21, he can file for you, but the length of time that it's going to take is going to differ based on your age. If you're over 21, it's taking 5 to 6 years. If you're under 21, prepare for about a 2-year process. Now, if you're in the United States without status, you're definitely going to want to get legal advice, because you may qualify for a waiver to be able to fix your status and still go on to get the green card. It's a process, though, that we have to see whether you qualify. To qualify for this, we'd have to make sure that your permanent resident dad will experience extreme hardship without you. So if you don't get the green card, and that usually means that your green card holder dad has to be dependent on you in some way. So can't stress this enough. Get legal advice. Nikki Z, you're welcome. So Nikki Z, you're in New York, and that's no problem. I represent clients all over the country and the world. I have clients in Africa. I have clients in Jamaica. I have clients in England. I have clients in Venezuela. So it does not matter where you are. I can represent you. So I'm not married. I live in Argentina. I'm 32. I have my brother who's a citizen, and my son is a citizen. So if your son is 21 and over, your son could file for you. Your dad could file for you as well. So, but you would have to wait out a longer process if you're over, which I assume you're 32. So yes, it would be about a 5 to 6 year process. But it is something that if it's going to take longer for your son to turn 21, then your dad could definitely be the option here. Do you get a free card when you marry a US citizen after you have overstayed your visa? So I don't know about free, but if you are married to a US citizen and if you overstayed your visa, there is a way to apply for the green card salvi here in the United States without leaving. You can always schedule a consultation. It is definitely best to do the consultation before you make any moves to make sure you're on the right path. So he's 12. So if he's 12, it's going to take a while for him to turn 21. Your dad may be the better option here. Trying to process an application to adopt my nephew. What should I start before contacting you? So you don't have to start anything. What you need to do is get legal advice, because it is a complicated process. It depends on where you are. Is your nephew in the US? Is your nephew outside of the US? What country is your nephew from? So it is a complex process, and it does require some detailed legal advice, because it's not cut and dry. It's all dependent on your facts here. How old is your nephew? Schedule a consultation. You can call 561-405-4889 and we can talk. Nati Bastias, you are welcome. So great questions. These are all awesome questions, and this is exactly why I'm here. I'm here to answer questions like this. So go ahead and put your question. Could be more than one question. Don't feel self-conscious about putting more than one question. When I see your questions, I answer as they come in, and I don't care if you've asked one or many. I start to go through your questions, and I try to be as detailed as I can, and but I do try to go through them quickly as well. Now, if you want to learn more about me, you can go to the link in my bio, and it will take you to the website where you can learn about me as the attorney. You can learn about the law firm. You can contact us through the phone number. You can contact us through the offline messaging system, or you can contact us through our online form. There are scheduling coordinators who are available Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, even sometimes on holidays. So now there are some holidays that they wouldn't be available. But for most times, they are available, because I do understand that when you are in need, sometimes you do need the convenience of calling on your day off to schedule a consultation and to deal with this aspect of how to fix your status or how to get the green card. And so that's exactly why I have scheduling coordinators available to take your call and to help you out, put you on my schedule. Now, what you can do is, and I'm going to tell you the number now, it's 561-405-4889. It's also on all of my videos, or you can go to the link in my bio, go to the website where you'll get all the information you need about the law firm, what I do, and the contact information. So I just want to tell you, for those of you who don't know me, I'm U.S. immigration attorney Sharifa Tharpe, and I help clients to get their green cards and status in the United States by any legal means necessary. And so one of the things I do is I show up every day, with very few exceptions. Of course, there are things that are going to come up, but for the most part, I am here every day. I don't have a specific time, just because my schedule can be up and down, but I do try to close the day out with you. So between, usually it's later on in the day. I'm a little early today. But what you can do is follow me, and as soon as you see me go live, you can hop on with me and ask your question. And it can be, there's no such thing as a dumb immigration question. Now, if it's more detailed than I can answer, or it's going to more complex than I can answer, I'll definitely let you know. And that in itself should guide you, or let you know that this is a situation that you need legal assistance for. Because the information here I'm giving you is general information. So put those questions in the comments. Now take advantage of me, a U.S. immigration attorney, being here to answer your U.S. immigration questions. I answer anything that's immigration related. Now, I have brought a topic to talk about in between your questions. Now, your questions don't have to be related to the topic I'm talking about, But the topic I'm talking about today is a question I get so frequently that I thought I would talk about it from a high level. And that is applying for the green card without the need to get married. How can you do that? And so I talked about employment. So an employer can apply for your permanent residence. The hard part here is just to find the employer. I find that is the most challenging part. Then is to have an attorney that can walk you through the process, which can be complex, but if you do have an attorney to help you through it, it gets easier. What happens if you want to withdraw your green card application through marriage? Well, in that case, you would simply withdraw it. So you could do it in writing, submit your letter in writing to say you wish to withdraw your application. What you can do is start by calling and letting them know, and then following up in writing and ask them for instructions. How long does it take for an asylum seeker to get the green card? So right now there is a terrible backlog going on, but what you can do is, it really depends on the service center that's processing your adjustment of status application. You can go to uscis.gov and go ahead and click on case processing times. You will see the forms, put the form in, put the service center in, and then you'll see the time range for that particular service center. Do you assist Texas residents with applying for spousal green card? Absolutely, I do. No matter where you are, I help clients. I actually have clients in Texas, and I assist them with their green card application. So you can call 561-405-4889. Schedule your consultation first. That's the best way to make sure you're on the right path, that this is what you qualify for, that there are no other options that you could be pursuing. And then once we get through that, you will get a personalized quote. What I can tell you as the attorney, I charge one flat rate for the entire process. And an exciting thing that I am also offering are affordable payment plans. Affordable, smaller monthly payment plans. That is something that my firm offers now. And so keep in mind that if cost is something that you're thinking about, there is that option. So can I apply for a green card while I'm on a student visa? So Rachel, it depends on what type of visa you're on, what program are you involved in. But if you do qualify in any other way and there's nothing that's hindering you, no restrictions on the type of visa you have, then you could very well qualify to go from, for example, from an F1 to a green card holder. So what is asylum? What categories are they under? So asylum is where if you are in the United States and you're afraid of going back to your country because you are afraid of persecution as in you're facing threats, you're in danger, your life is in danger, your safety is in danger, even your economic well-being is in danger if you go back to your country because of who you are. If you're the member of a particular social group, then one can apply for asylum. And once you are granted asylum, you can then, after a year, adjust to a United States, to a U.S. permanent resident. So I was just going to ask for payment plans too. So I'm glad that I addressed that. So one, Dig Minds, yes, we now offer affordable payment plans. So that's an option if you would like to call. First, schedule a consultation. And then if you want to retain me as the attorney, I can definitely provide you that option. Is there a way to expedite the process if a person has been in the U.S. and haven't had a court date? So there is no straightforward way to expedite the case, especially if you are in court. I don't know if you are in court, but you haven't gotten a date yet. But usually it would not be that simple. There is a possibility if you're facing some kind of issues, it has to really be a compelling circumstance though to be able to get it pushed up. Can I apply for a green card with a visiting visa? No. Tamara, you wouldn't be able to apply for the green card just by having a visitor's visa. But if you came to the US on a visitor's visa and then you end up qualifying because you fell in love, you got married, then you overstayed, that could possibly be a way if you are going to adjust status through a US citizen in the United States. Chose none 139, thanks for the follow. When can I bring my husband to the USA if I'm requesting for asylum? So I must wait for approval. So yes, if you are approved, then you and your family members are included in the application. They will be able to come as well. Nikki Z, the cost for the consultation is $150 for up to an hour. And let me tell you, it is worth it. Because when you're in that consultation, you walk out knowing what you qualify for. You walk out knowing your options. You walk out knowing whether you're even making a mistake. I have had situations many times where the person I was advising, they were about to make mistakes or they were made mistakes. So it's very important to get legal advice, no matter how simple it seems. Trust me, immigration law is not simple. And a lot of people think that and end up in trouble. So make sure you schedule a consultation and get that legal advice. For $150 to even get that is valuable. What happens if you withdraw your green card application through marriage? Then they close it out and you won't get the green card. What happens when an application is denied? It really depends on the reason for the denial. So what happened? What type of application was it? Were there more serious immigration consequences that came out of this? Who was the applicant? Who was the immigrant in this situation? So it all depends. Sometimes you can appeal. Sometimes it's just better to reapply. Sometimes you can't apply for some time. It just depends on what the facts are. If your application was denied and you would like to figure out what the next steps are, schedule a consultation and we can talk more. Thank you so much. I aim to be informative and helpful, so I'm glad that I can do that. And that's why I come here every day. I come here every day to answer questions. So if you follow me, you get notice that I'm live. You can hop on and ask any immigration related questions that you want. Can someone sponsor you to come to the USA, and who can sponsor you? Absolutely, someone can, but it has to be specific individuals. So these individuals are going to be your US citizen spouse, your US citizen son or daughter who's 21 and up, your U.S. citizen, so your child, your U.S. citizen spouse, and your parent if you are under 21 and unmarried. Also, your green card holder parent can file for you if you're unmarried, even if you're over 21 or under 21. And your green card holder spouse can apply for you. Your U.S. citizen sibling can apply for you. U.S. citizens can sponsor children over 21, 21 and over. But keep in mind, some of these processes are going to take longer. U.S. citizens can also sponsor their married children. My daughter was denied because I got married after her 18. What can I do? So in this case, if your daughter is still under 21 and unmarried, Queen Bee, and you are a green card holder, you could apply for her as a child of a green card holder. And right now, that's taking about 2 years right now. So that could be an option. Queen Bee, get legal advice to figure out the strategy. If you do have your green card, you want to do this right away because she is 18. And this process can take a while. I'm still waiting on my interview. So as soon as you become a green card holder, then you should look at applying for your daughter. Hi there, Cruz Familia. It's nice to see you. So these are all great questions, and this is exactly why I'm here. And I am still here. So put your questions in the comments while I'm here. Take advantage. Queen Bee, you're welcome. So take advantage of me being here, a U.S. immigration attorney, being here to answer your questions right in between. Hi there, Angelindra. It's nice to see you again. So in between your questions, I am coming with a great topic, and that is how to apply for the green card without marriage, because I get that often as well. We're still waiting for the I-130 approval since August 2020. So Cruz Familia, I know unfortunately the I-130 is taking over a year right now. So it's taking 9 months. 9 months is not the common time right now, but it could take as little as 9 months. It's taking over a year. And that is why they are now issuing, it would not necessarily be the case for you, Cruz Familia, because you have to, I know you may be doing the waiver process. But for those who do qualify for the work permit, they are now issuing 2-year green card work permits. 2-year work permits because the processing time is getting longer. Is there any updates on the Haitian TPS? Not right now. The good news is that we know that anybody who came into the country before May 21st, on or before May 21st, Haitian, they can apply for TPS. Of course, they have to make sure they qualify. So they have to meet all the requirements, but we're waiting for them to publish the further instructions. And so as soon as that happens, I will let you know. We have everything ready to submit for an I-601A, hopefully soon. So that's the good part, and now it's just a wait. So I'm glad that you did that hard part already, Cruz Familia, because preparing the I-601 is definitely a beast in itself. So my fingers are crossed. I'm hoping, praying that you get that soon. Keep your questions coming, because that's why I'm here. I'm here to answer your questions, so take advantage. Now, if you are too shy right now to ask your question, because maybe this is your first time seeing me, you want to watch me a little bit more before you ask your question, what you can do is follow me. And as soon as you see me go live and you start to get comfortable, you can start to put your questions in the comments and I will answer. Or you can also call and schedule a consultation. So the receptionist, One Dig Minds, they definitely need your information. So they need your information to schedule that consultation. Absolutely, One Dig Minds, they are gonna need that. So go ahead, and the receptionist is going to ask for all of your information to be able to schedule that consultation. So they're gonna need your so One Dig's Mind, I'm not sure what's going on there, but she needs your first name. My name is Sharifa, but she shouldn't have to need my name. It's going to be your name. So Cruz Familia, I'm in Boca Raton, Florida, but as I always say, I represent clients all over the country. But my office is based in Boca Raton, Florida, but I have clients all over the world and all over the US. So keep those questions coming. I am here to answer your US immigration related questions. So go ahead and put those questions in the comments. CLE Burn Girl, thanks for the follow, and thanks for those of you who have been following me during the live. Hi, how am I able to apply for a working visa and take 2 kids along with me? So is it best to file the fiance visa? I'll answer your question in a bit. Hi, how am I able to apply for a working visa and take my 2 kids along with me? So you will need ACD, you will need to have an employer. That is going to be the most important aspect of this process, an employer who's willing to file for you. After that, then it's going to come down to, do you qualify? What are the needs of your employer to be able to go through the labor certification process and then the green card. Once you apply for that and you do get approved, your kids under 21 can go along with you. So is it best to apply for the fiance visa or to marry in a foreign country? Great question. I get this often. And it comes down to your personal preferences. Now, I know some people, they want to get married in the United States, have their friends and family attend. And so the fiance visa in a situation like that would probably be better. Now, another thing is that they don't want to rush into marriage. They want to try life out together. They want to make sure that they do fit together as a couple. They want to take time to plan the wedding. Fiance visa may be better in that situation. Right now, the fiance visa and the spousal immigrant visa, they are taking over a year. So time right now, even though the fiance visa is supposed to go faster, it's not necessarily going faster. It is taking over a year for it to be approved. So it really comes down to personal preference. Now, if another thing is, if you get the fiance visa, your fiance would come to the United States, you would have the requirement to get married within 90 days. If you don't, and if you don't get married within the 90 days, that visa is not going to be valid anymore because it's a 90-day fiance visa. Then afterwards, you're going to have to spend the extra time to apply for the green card, which can then increase the cost. So if you're really invested in each other already, you're sure that you want to spend your lives together, and you do have the ability to travel to the country to get married, and that can make you happy, why not do that as well? So it really comes down to your personal preferences here and your circumstances. My question is, how long after when your stuff marked accepted do you get an interview date? So I've seen it, so it depends on the embassy. Plush Boutique, I've seen it in as little as 3 months, and I've seen it go as long as a year before they got, especially during the COVID time. Michael Charles, thanks for the follow. K9 Kelsey, thanks for the compliment. Good evening, Community Solution 8. If your partner is already in the States illegally, can you still get married in the US? So if your partner is in the US and you are a US citizen and your partner came into the country with a visa, then it is very likely they would be able to adjust status. Now, if they came into the country without a visa, there is another way. You can apply for the green card. You can get married in the US. So first of all, you can still get married. Whether your spouse has status or not, you can get married in the US. And then you can still apply for the green card, but the process is going to be different if they cross the border without permission. If they cross the border without permission, what's going to happen is there's going to be a waiver process that they have to apply for. And that waiver is basically asking for forgiveness for the overstay. And then once they're granted that waiver, they can go back to their home country in time for the interview. So they can wait for the waiver to be approved in the United States. When the interview comes, fly out for the interview, and then about 2 to 3 weeks later come back with their immigrant visa, all being well. If you are in a situation like that, apology Gigi, can't stress enough, get legal advice before you make any moves. It can definitely change the game for you and make it a smoother process. How long are the CR1 visa? So right now we're talking about 18 months to 24 months. I'm scheduled to speak to you. Thank you. So One Dig Minds, I'm very glad that the consultation was successful. I can't wait to speak with you. So you are welcome, CLE Burn Girl. Me and my hubby's waiting for the NVC to review our cases. It feels like it's been forever. Tell me about it. User 461, I'm with you on that. When I do submit all the documents, it can be a frustrating process because you have to upload your documents and then you have to wait for about, it depends on the embassy, but you can wait for about 4 weeks for them just to say, this document isn't clear enough, please send another document, or this document, we're not going to accept it, please send another one. That is a frustrating part. So I'm with you. Just hang tight during your process, and good luck. Apology Gigi, you are welcome. I'm glad that I could help you. That's exactly why I'm here. And these are awesome questions. You guys have really had me going with your questions. This is my passion. I really appreciate you submitting your questions, because this is what I do. Is it acceptable to apply for a tourist visa while an I-130 spouse visa is pending? Lula 430, it's a good question, but it's my least favorite. The reason is that there is a small risk, yes, to your tourist visa. Because once you have a spousal visa, especially when you're close to the end of your process, you have a spousal visa that's pending. If you try to travel during that time, you could definitely have trouble at the border, which could complicate your case, because if they turn you around at the border, that's called expedited removal, and that's going to complicate your case. And so there is a small risk that your visitor's visa could definitely be at risk. You could be revoked, could be canceled. And so while I have seen it go both ways, I've seen individuals get their visas revoked, and I've seen some individuals still get to travel back and forth quite fine with their visitor's visa. So, I can't give you specific advice on what to do, but I can tell you that these are the risks. So thank you. You are welcome. All right, so let us keep those questions coming. Lula 430, you are welcome. After the interview for I-130, what is next? So at the interview, Queen Bee, usually the interview is where you will get a decision. Now, sometimes the officer will need to review your case more. Sometimes they'll have additional requests. But usually with my cases, typically they'll tell us on the spot whether they want more information, which that has never happened to me at a marriage-based interview. But what they will do is they will tell you, we're recommending approval, expect it in the mail in 4 weeks. Can an immigrant be living in NY and work as a home health aide and apply for rights in the US? So while I know New York may be a friendly state for immigrants, especially if you're undocumented, it may not necessarily accord you rights in the entire US. You'd still have to make sure that you qualify in some way for permanent residence or some sort of status. How much is your service? So the service is $150 to start with a consultation. I require consultations in all cases just because those consultations help me to advise you as to whether you qualify, whether you're on the right path, what you need to do, what the game plan should be in your particular case. And then I can also offer you a legal representation, and it will be up to you to decide whether you want to take it. Can I get a green card without marriage? So June, you came on and asked that question, and that was my topic today. So yes, that is possible, and I'm going to tell you quickly how that can be done. The first is one, if you have an employer who's willing to sponsor you, if you have family members like a spouse, a parent, not a spouse, because we're not talking about marriage. So it's going to be a parent, a sibling, a child 21 and up and who's a citizen. Those could be options. Humanitarian. So if you received asylum, the T visa for trafficking victims, U visa for victims of crime, then that's another way. And the diversity lottery visa, that's like the lottery for the green card. So I just gave you, in a nutshell, ways to get the green card. I'm married to a US citizen. Do I apply for TPS or the green card? So you could actually go for both. So what you can, and it really depends on your circumstances. Generally, Samantha the first is you could apply for TPS, and then you could, at the same time that you have TPS, then you could go ahead with your green card application. It depends on how you enter, though, to determine whether you can qualify for the green card while staying in the US or outside. So I'm currently looking for an immigration lawyer for my partner situation. Do you do virtual appointments? Apology, Gigi. I'm glad you asked. Absolutely. And I am here for it. You can call 561-405-4889. No, the scheduling coordinator is not available, but my phone lines are open 24/7, and there are after hours receptionists who are available to take your name, your information, and then tomorrow the scheduling coordinator will call you, or if you prefer Monday. They are available 7 days a week now on Saturdays and Sundays, 12 to 5 p.m. So I'm here for it. Just go ahead, call, schedule a consultation. Apology, Gigi. If it's more convenient, you can also go to the website. The link is in my bio. So you can go to the link in my bio, fill out a contact form, and the scheduling coordinator will get that information, call you back, and schedule the consultation. If I do my paperwork separate, what's the consequence? Sweet Sash. It depends. Now, it depends on what type of paperwork you're filing for. Now, I don't know if you're talking about applying without a spouse, a parent, or a son or daughter who are there, if they're mistreating you. There are no consequences. If you're in a situation where they are mistreating you and you have to apply on your own, they are not informed. So if you don't tell them, they can never know that you applied for this. It's confidential, and so you can be rest assured that you qualify for this. You'll be fine. When you submit your files to the National Visa Center and they ask for more information once you finish send, how long would it take for the NVC to review them? So it takes about 4 weeks now. You are welcome, Apology GT, and I can't wait to speak with you. If I send in I-130 first, so Sweet Sash, very important for you to get legal advice, because you may qualify to send in your work permit, your I-130, everything together. Get legal advice before you start anything to make sure you're on the right path, that you evaluate all your situation, and that you qualify for what you're applying for. If someone leaves in is more than 10 years undocumented and has 12-year-old citizen child, also lives in the U.S. and they have having a U.S. citizen child, unfortunately, is not enough. That U.S. citizen has to be 21 and up to be able to sponsor you. So they have to be 21 and up, and then you could apply for the green card. They would apply for the green card for you. Or if it's gotten to the point where they're mistreating you, then you could apply for it on your own as well. So any pathway to green card, mama. So yeah, there are multiple paths to the green card. If you have, for example, if you have asylum T or U visa, that's one way. If you have family members, qualifying family members, that's another way. If you have an employer, that's another way. If you enter the diversity lottery, get selected and go through the process, that's another way. Can a citizen sponsor as a friend? Unfortunately not. A U.S. citizen wouldn't be able to sponsor their friend. Michael Charles, thanks for sharing the live. So I have noticed that the questions have slowed, and so I'm going to go ahead and log off myself today. But today was a good day. I saw so many great questions. I'll be back tomorrow, and you're welcome, Tamara Brown. And I will be back. Tomorrow. So what you can do is, if I didn't get to your question, if you have more questions, go ahead. Lula, you're welcome. Go ahead, follow me, and as soon as you see me go live, you can hop on and ask any immigration question that you want, because that's why I'm here. I do this every day. Thanks so much Flaw the Bullet, thanks so much for that fire. I appreciate that. That has made my day. Thank you. So go ahead, ACD, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for. I'm very passionate about this. This is what I do. So go ahead, follow me, and as soon as you see me go live. Now, if you have a personal issue that you really don't want to ask here, or you feel, and you're welcome, K9 Kelsey. Now, if you have an issue and you really need personal legal advice, go ahead and Lula, thank you so much. Go ahead, call 561-405-4889. Phone lines are open 24/7, but there's a scheduling coordinator who's available 9:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. on weekdays, and then on the weekends between noon and 5 p.m. to schedule your consultation. So right now, it's a holiday weekend if you're in the U.S. If you have the time and you want to make a quick call and get it out of the way, we're here for you. If you're on a weekday, you're on lunch, you want to call, we're here for you. So go ahead, make that call, schedule your consultation. K9 Kelsey, thanks so much. It's Jamaican. So go ahead and call me. I'm looking forward to that. Go to the link in my bio if you want to learn how to get in touch with me. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good one, guys. Bye.